Welcome in the subject Mechanical System Design. I am Professor A.P. Godke, Assistant Professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at SND College of Engineering and Research Center, Baburgaon, Yoga. Today we will see the unit number 3 of our subject Mechanical System Design, that is a design of belt conveyor system for material handling. So here the introduction to the material handling system. So here introduction to material handling. So what are the objective of material handling that we are going to see here? So first objective of material handling is to picking up the load. So we have to pick the load and place somewhere. So the material handling equipments are used to do that task. Second is transporting the load. That is nothing but from one place to another place. If you want to transfer the load, then also the material handling equipments are used. And third one is the setting the load down. So that is also one of the important condition of the material handling system or equipment. Setting the load down. So we have to unload the conditions. So in this point. So these are the three main objectives or the task for the material handling equipments can be performed. So picking up the load, transporting the load, and setting the load down. So next will be the types of load handled by the material handling systems. So this is also a very important point. So what are the different types of loads that can be handled by using the material handling system or equipment? So the loads handled by the material handling system classified into the two types. One is a bulk loads and second one is a unit loads. So what I mean by bulk load that we are going to see here, the bulk load consists of a large number of homogeneous particles or lumps of any material, that is called as a bulk load. So the large number of homogeneous particles are there or lumps of any material is there, then such loads is called as a bulk loads. So here the example of bulk loads are the coals from the coal mines are produced is the categorized in the bulk load. Coal is a bulk load. Then mineral ore is also bulk load. Then sand, stone, then clay, cement. All these are the called as a bulk load. So these materials or loads are formed by a large number of homogeneous particles or in the form of homogeneous particles or lumps of any material. So this is the bulk loads: coal, mineral ore, sand, stone, clay, and cement. Next one is a unit load. The unit load is a rigid single mass which is handled and transported as a one piece. So such type of load is called as a unit load. So the load present in the single mass unit, which is a rigid form, which can be handled and transported as a single unit or one piece. Such a load is called as a unit load. So the example of unit load are machineries or machines, different equipments are comes under the unit load. Then the boxes which contains the goods or packing of the material is comes under the unit load. Then containers are also comes under the unit load. Okay, so containers where we can convert the bulk load into the unit load. So the containers are also comes under the unit load. Means what? In containerization we perform the conversion of bulk load into small parts or units, uh, or a single mass or single piece unit. So that will become under the unit load. So these are the two main types or loads handled by the material handling system, that is the bulk load and unit load. The next is the concept of containerization. What is meant by containerization? So the definition of containerization is the process of converting the bulk loads or small units into the unit load by using a container is known as a containerization. That is nothing but conversion of bulk load or small units into unit load by using a container is called as a containerization. Then what are the basic consideration in the containerization process is there are various types of steps are there. So first consideration is the limit the number of container sizes and shape. So that is the first consideration in the containerization. Second one is a design the container size and shape based on the load to be handled. So we have to design the container in such a way that which type of load we are going to handle. So depending on the size and shape of the container is finalized. Then the size of the containers taking into account the space available in the material handling equipment. Then the design the container for stacking arrangement. Then design the container for flexibility and maximum utilization. Then keep the containers painted, that is also consideration. Then color code for the container for depending on the function which type of material is going to handle, so color coding is also important parameter. Then wire mesh and solid steel containers are preferred over wood and plastic containers for the sake of cleanliness. Then fire protection also uh, made for the long life of the container. Next, the principal guidelines in the selection of the material handling equipment. So, what are the guidelines are there or principles while selecting the material handling equipment to handle the material? The first guideline or principle is to direction of load travel. So, we have to decide the from where or for which direction we are going to transfer the travel the load. Depending on that, we have to select the material handling equipment. Then length of load travel. So at what much distance we are going to transfer the load. So that length is also important consideration or a principle. Then types and properties of the load to be handled. So what type of load we are going to handle and what are the properties of that load that we are going to handle. Depending on that, we have to go for the selection of the material handling equipments. Then next one is the required load moving capacity of unit is also the guideline in the selection of material handling equipment. And then characteristics of production processes. Then method of stacking loads at initial and final points. Then local conditions are also considered. Then initial and operational cost is also important guideline in the selection of material handling equipment. Next point is the objectives of material handling system. So what are the different objectives of material handling system that we are going to see here? The first objective is to accuracy in transporting the loads to destination. So that is the first objective. There should be a accuracy in the transporting the load to destination. Then second objective of material handling system is to precision in pick up the loads. That is the main objective. And then third one is the transporting the load in scheduled time. That is also important objective. Then transporting the loads of required quantity. Then transporting the load without damage. Automation with the minimum manpower. Then low initial and operational cost. Then simplicity and easy maintenance. Then operational safety. So these are the various objectives of material handling systems. Next one is a classification of the material handling system. What are the types of material handling system that we are going to see here? So the material handling equipments are basically classified into three types. That is a hosting equipment, then a surface and overhead equipment, and conveyors or conveying equipments. Then hosting equipments are further classified into three ways. That is the hosting machines, cranes, and elevators. Then hosting machines, the examples are jacks, pulleys, portable handhold hoist, portable power operated hoist, then traveling power operated hoist, etc. Then cranes are classified. Our examples of cranes are the jeep crane with rotary pillars, stationary cranes with turntable telescopic tower cranes, then EOT cranes, and then gantry cranes, etc. So these are the all the types of the cranes which are hoisting equipments. Next one is the elevators. cage elevators, vertical skip elevators, manually propelled stackers, etc. So these are the comes under the elevators, which are the hoisting type of the equipment. Second one is a surface and overhead equipment, so which are the trackless trucks, then narrow gauge cars, the overhead trackage systems, etc. The R comes under the surface and overhead equipment. The next one is a conveying equipment. Conveyors are there. That is a flat belt conveyor, true belt conveyor, blanket belt conveyor, chain conveyors, apron conveyors, etc. So all these are comes under the uh, conveying equipments, which are the types of the metal handling equipments. And next is a surface and overhead equipment. So the objectives are moving the load on ground, and second one is the moving the load in horizontal direction on overhead tracks. So these are the, if you want to move the material on the ground, then it will be called as the surface equipments. And if in horizontal direction on overhead tracks, then it will be the overhead tracks. So conveyor, these are the group of devices with no lifting gears used for the moving of the loads in horizontal direction or inclined direction along a fixed path in a continuous flow. So this is the definition of the conveyors. The conveying equipments are mainly used for the bulk loads. Okay, just like a coal, then mineral ore, cement, stone, etc. So this is the layout of the belt conveyor system. So different components are there for the belt conveyor system. So this is the horizontal belt conveyor system. So different parts or equipments are there for the belt conveyor system. So first is a head pulley or a drive pulley. So this is a drive pulley. Then second is a tail pulley, a tail pulley. Then third is a snub pulley. So the required tension is provided into the belt by using this snub pulley. Then belt carrying idlers or rollers. So these are the belt carrying idlers. So four number is there. So the number of belt carrying idlers are used. Then return run idlers are also there. So here it is fifth one, return run idlers. So these are the return run idlers. Then sixth one is a belt pulley. So you can see here belt pulley is there. So two belt pulleys are there. Then take up pulley is there. Seven number take up pulley is also there. So this is called as a take up pulley. Then counterweight. So this is a counterweight to uh, provide the sufficient amount of tension into the belt. Then nine number is a scrabber. Scrabber, that is a belt cleaner. We can consider as the scrabber. So this is the scrabber belt cleaner is there. The 10 number is the internal belt cleaner, the scrabber. It is also one type of a scrapper, internal belt cleaner. Then 11 number is a conveyor belt. So this is the conveyor belt. You can see the 11 number. So this is a belt which is a mount over the head pulley and tail pulley. Then 12 number is a feeder. So this is a feeder. Then 13 number is a hopper, and 14 number is a bulk material. So this is the bulk material is transported over the belt. So this is the layout of the belt conveyor system. Then advantages, limitation, and applications of conveyors. So conveyors as a bulk material handling system offers the following advantages. So first advantage, due to continuous flow, conveyors ensure steady and sufficient supply of the material at processing unit or sites. Then conveyors can transfer the material at extremely high rate. Hence, the capacity of conveyor is much higher than the other material handling system. Then by changing the speed of the conveyor, the rate of the material flow can be changed so as to suit the requirement at the processing units or sites. Then the conveyors can be started or stopped within the shortest time. Hence, the conveyors of the material flow can be started or stopped within the shortest time. Then the conveyors carry the material along fairly direct routes and hence require minimum time for transporting the material. Then the conveyors can be placed at floor level, at workstation level, at higher level as per requirement. Therefore, the conveyors need not occupy the valuable floor space and they can utilize the airspace of the plant. Then it can the places like assembly units, the conveyors can serve the dual purpose. They are used as the production or processing line as well as the material handling systems. Then in conveyors, the types of production or processing lines of the conveyor speed ensure the rate of production. Then the conveyor can take the material to the locations where the manual loading is not possible due to the extreme operation condition. For example, furnace, automatic paint unit, high pressure cleaning units, etc. So unlike the other material handling equipment, the conveyors do not necessary to have an operator, so they can run without operator. So these are the advantages of the conveyors. Then the conveyors, as the material handling system, have the following limitations or disadvantages are also there. So the conveyors can handle the material along a fixed direction or route. So that is the limitation of the conveyors. Then conveyors are unsuitable for heavy unit load or not suitable for the heavy unit load. So conveyors are suitable for the bulk load only. Then once installed conveyors are fairly inflexible regarding alternation in location, capacity, shape or the type of material to be handled. Then due to inflexibility, conveyors are suitable for plants in operations that are permanent for a considerable length of time. So these are the limitations of the conveyors or as a material handling system. Then applications of conveyors are used for continuous flow of the bulk load in mines, that is the transportation of coal or mineral ore, then ports, then thermal power plants, etc. to transport the metal from cold storage to the furnace for thermal power plants. Then next application of the conveyors are used for the metal handling in different industries like manufacturing industry, food processing industry, dairy industry, then pharmaceutical industry, etc. Then the next application of conveyors are used as assembly lines in the automobile industry. So these are the advantages, limitation, and applications of the conveyors as a material handling system. Next one is the types of material handled by the conveyors. So what are the different materials that can be handled by the conveyors are as follows. So first is the bulk material that this type of material can be handled by using the conveyor. So the bulk materials are in the form of granules or the cakes of different sizes and shape. The different bulk materials handled by the conveyors are mineral ore, then coal from the coal mines, then sand, stone, clay, cement, then powder materials such as floors and slurries, etc. So these are the types of the bulk material which can be handled by using the conveyors. Second one is a hazardous materials, the explosive substances or mixtures which cannot be handled by the hoist or elevators due to the potential risk of explosion under impacts. So that can be handled by using the conveyor. The next one is a loose material. The process is the in the process of small parts like nuts, bolts, casting, forging, plastic parts, etc. are transferred by using the conveyor. Then the packages like corrugated cartons, plastic boxes, wooden boxes, drums, etc. can be transferred by using the conveyors. So these are the various types of materials that can be handled by using the conveyor system. So this is all about the introduction of a material handling system and conveyors, types of the conveyors. We will see in the next session.